Okay, we have the video from race number 12 of the OVKA 2021 season. This is the LO206 Masters class heading out, and this is the pre-final at Whiteland Raceway Park in Whiteland, Indiana. I'm starting in 4th position. We had some changes to the format, and we ended up doing a pre-final where the starting grid was laid out according to current championship standings at the OVKA. So of the drivers there, I'm the 4th in line. I think I was actually 5th in points coming into this race, but one of the top 5 isn't there, so I'm starting in position 4. Got some teammates behind me. The 222 is back there, and the 4 is back there. On the start right here, the 222 is actually, I think he's in 5th position. That's him right there. He got a good run up on me, but I was able to keep my momentum and speed up on the outside, and I got back around him. And I had one extra practice over him, so I was a little more familiar with the track. At this point, he's only been out there for about a 5-minute practice session, so he doesn't quite have the whole layout down quite as well as I do. And I'm still somewhat struggling to remember what's going on. Now, during the pre-final, it's beneficial to have people right in front of you because you can see what they're doing, and it will remind you, what's about to happen. But they're all pretty fast. The 111 is racing the 2nd class, so he's raced. He's kind of got double the time on the track at this layout than the rest of us because he's racing the KA100s as well. But there wasn't a whole lot of passing on this track. The 111 was able to knock off a few passes up there. He's going to get around both of the guys in front of him and eventually finish this heat in 1st, I believe. The 16 finishing in 2nd and the 44 is 3rd. I'm going to hold on to my 4th place, and I'll start the final in 4th place. This is an 8-lapper, so it's pretty quick. Our lap times were in the mid to upper 30s. Actually in the 36, 37 range. The fast guys were in the 36. I was in the 37s. And I think the rest of the field was somewhere in the 37s and 38s. But again, I was somewhat in the middle of no man's land. I didn't really have anybody pressuring me hard from the back. I just had to make sure I didn't mess up while I was driving. And the guys in front just continued to pull on me. In the pre-final, they stayed, in eye shot for a while, but in the final, they really put the move on me. Again, another one of those situations where I probably should have geared for a little more top-end speed. You can hear my rev limiter. You can hear me banging off the rev limiter in a few spots, or at least one spot for a while. And it would have been better if I had a little bit more padding or something in my seat to take up the left-right move. These are pretty sharp corners. My seat it's fairly snug up in the shoulder area, but down around my hips it's not. And I was sloshing back and forth in the seat, and with some of the bumps, you just start when you start wobbling around in your seat a lot, you end up holding on to the steering wheel instead of steering with the steering wheel. You're holding on to it and trying to steer at the same time, which is a little more difficult than just sitting there firmly planted in your seat and being able to just use your hands to steer instead of actually try to keep yourself in a specific position in the cart. Anyways, I got through it. I'm not going to whine about that too much. It just was one thing while I was driving. I was wishing I have a little pad that I sometimes bring with me, and I forgot to bring it, so I really had no way to take up the space that I wanted to take up. So we're going to jump into the final. I'm going to have some side-by-side footage. Maybe it's going to be confusing. Maybe it's too much to look at, but hey, I figured I'd mess around with some of my editing options. And I am on the left in the 22, and my teammate is in the 222 on the right. He's starting in 8th. I'm starting in 4th. And we've got a teammate starting in 6th right in front of us, or right in front of the camera on the right. But again, this was a new layout to us. We raced at Whiteland in 2020. But we were going in the opposite direction, and we stayed basically to the outside of the track, which gives you pretty much your highest speed option for going around the track. And this had a lot of turns, as you can see. It's relatively tight in some places, not a lot of places to really build up momentum and get around somebody. There was There's a few places you could try to pass, basically coming around right where we're starting. If you watch the left camera, down through here you could potentially duck under somebody and get under them, leading into this left right here. So these are synced up where they both start at the same time, so we are in the same time as each other, left and right on the cameras. Again, it's probably too confusing. I should probably not do this again, but I figured, what the heck. Our next race will be at the Motorsports Country Club in Batavia, Ohio. That'll be race 13, and I think we have one more after that. The way our season works, we have 3 drops, so our best 11 races are what we'll use to determine positioning for the end of the season and who's going to be the champion. I'm not in any running for being the champion. I will probably finish with a higher point total and possibly higher up in the standings than I did last year. Last year I was 7th. And this is a pretty big class, so 7th isn't too bad. Right now I'm in 5th. I might be in 4th at the end of this race because I got 4th place points during this race, and that's better than one of my other races, so I think I should gain about 37 more points, which will put me up another position. But it's going to be hard to hold on. If the guy who I pass, who's currently in 4th, if he shows up and does relatively well, he's probably going to go back in front of me, as is the case with, I think, at least one other driver. So we're getting towards the end of the video. As I said, there's not a whole lot of passing. You can see, a little bit. Like I said, I got a little bit more practice than my teammate. He's starting to come around to it towards the end. His times are getting better, but he did not have a whole lot of laps at high speed in here. This is probably his. He's going to have basically less than 20 laps, really knowing where he's going for the day. That's the whole day. So he did pretty well. I didn't do too bad. There were no big crashes. Nobody got anything smashed up. So as a group, the OVKA came out of this relatively unscathed, and everybody had some fun. So it's a nice facility. They've got a really nice, the restrooms are nice, garages are nice, all that good stuff. So stay tuned for the next video from MCC, and have fun karting out there.